Hi Flosstube, it's Karen, recovering monogamous stitcher. This is Friday, June 2025, and I am back this morning to record my Flosstube number 72. I'm so happy that you were able to stop by. Welcome so much to my channel. I'm happy to have my longtime subscribers and supportive friends back. Thank you so much. And if you're new here, you're so welcome. I'm happy you found my channel somehow, and I hope you will like and subscribe and join my virtual stitching family. So let's see now. Comments from the last video before I get going on anything else. There were a couple things I wanted to respond to. Someone asked what paints I used when I did casting a spell. And last time I showed my finish of casting a spell, my casting a spell box. And I showed the crackle finish that I had done on the box. And I believe that was what she was interested in because she wanted to know about the paints. So I pulled them out. Here they are. And you know, when I'm picking these paints, I'm going along and I'm just trying to figure out through the plastic what color. I used this orange as the base, and this particular one is a Deco Art, let me show you, Americana Spiced Pumpkin. That's the orange that I used, and I put that on first. I don't remember what the directions were, it had to dry or whatever. Then I put on my black, which was, again, an Deco Art Americana, and it was called Black Ebony something. Lamp Ebony Black. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about that. And okay, and here's the crackle medium that I used. And I don't remember if I got it at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, but they both seem to carry the same brands, so I'm sure you could find it either place. It's called a crackle medium. This particular brand was Folk Art. And here's how the process went. First, of course, after sanding the box down a little bit, first I painted the orange. I did not paint any orange on the inside. I just did black on the inside. So first, outside here, I did the orange. No, wrong. First, I did the black on the inside, then closed it up. Then I did the orange on all the outside exposed surfaces, except not the back. I just put acrylic felt on the back. The orange dried. I applied the black and followed the directions on the crackle medium. I don't remember how long I had to wait before I put the crackle medium on. The first time I put the crackle medium on, I guess I was too sparse because the cracks were very fine and just not very visible. Okay, so I wasn't happy with that. So I gave it a light sanding. I reapplied the black and I reapplied the spackle or the crackle. And I was more generous with it, and I was much more pleased with the amount of cracking that showed. And if you wanted to have huge cracks, you would put a lot on. So that's how that worked. It was relatively easy. Of course, it was sloppy. I wore gloves and all that stuff. So I hope that helps you. Oh, another thing. I had bemoaned last time about how my little pillows weren't as big. The first one that went in I thought was perfect, and then these were a little smaller. And I got wonderful comments like you could put Velcro dot on the back and in the box that would hold it in, or you could put double-sided tape, or you could do magnets, or all kinds of things. And then the more I thought about it, I thought, who is going to tip this box upside down? I'm not going to. So I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just letting it go, and I'm not going to redo it. I thought about that. I thought about taking the pillow apart and making a needle book. I'm not going to do that. I'm done. It's a finish. I'm happy with it. It's done. So that's casting a spell. Thank you for that question. I appreciate that you were interested in knowing that. Let's see, the other question. Oh, the other comment was about, remember I was making a project bag for myself. I got interrupted in my process, and for 2 days I had pins in the foam holding the layers together because I was in the process of quilting, and that left dents in the foam when I finished. And there were suggestions, and I tried the suggestion of putting ice on it. So, you know, the little crackles of ice that are in the bottom of the ice container in the freezer. I just got some little pieces and put them on those spots. And yes, it did work. And I'll show you the bag when I get to that part in the whips because I have a project in it. The one thing that did happen though, it was my foam was adhesive or fusible on both sides, so I had pre-pressed it. So the backing fabric and the foam and then the lining were pressed together before I quilted. Well, where I put the ice, that did release the fusible there. I'll show you. It's not a big deal, but lesson learned to me. Do not leave pins in the foam for 2 days. And if you do, take care of the dents before you put the vinyl on so that you can re-iron it down. So, okay. Thank you for that suggestion. I'm glad I tried that. So what have I done in the last 2 weeks? Well, I've stitched every single day. I had an in-person get-together with Central Kentucky Stitchers. It was great. As always, it was great. I've had several Zooms. One with the Martha Miller Sal that we're doing through Queen City Sampler Guild. And another one that was one of the evening Zooms that they do monthly. And that was enjoyable also. It's always so nice to see other people who are interested in the stitching. And Zoom is second best to being in person, but I love them both. So, and I've been doing sewing. I made myself another project bag. Now this I bought at Sampler Symposium, but I made a project bag using French General Fabrics. I love it. So that'll be for some special sampler coming up. And I've been working on table gifts for Hobby House, and so that's sewing I'm not going to show right now. But so I've been busy sewing on both my machines and sitting in my stitchy chair sewing also. So let me show you fully finished objects. I have not one, but two. This one you're going to guess because I showed you the finished stitching last time. Margaret Hutton is finished, framed. I chose a very plain frame because the stitching is so detailed in this. And as always, my lady I always use at my local Hobby Lobby did a great job. So my process is I take in my stitched piece that I have ironed and put in my project roll, so it's not been folded. Once it's done, it gets pressed and never folded again. And I take it in, she does the measurements, and she's very good. She understands about needlework and how to measure for that. She then cuts the acid-free foam core for me. I buy it and it's like $2. I take that home with my stitched piece. I do my own lacing. They could do it. I've never even asked them how much it would cost. I do the lacing myself. And then when I know it's going to come back in, it usually comes in on the truck on Monday afternoon or whatever. So Tuesday morning, I'm there right when they open. And she pops it into the frame and closes up the back. Makes a nice cover on it. And I always get the wire hanger because if I want to enter it in the state fair, it must have the wire hanger. They don't accept any framed pieces that have the sawtooth hanger or a loop or anything. They require a wire hanger. So I just get them all framed with the wire hanger on them. So there's Margaret Hutton. She's done. I'm so happy that I had a chance to go see Nicola in Cincinnati last year, and I plan to take this along with me to Hobby House in August, and hopefully I can show her that I did all those specialty stitches, and it was great fun. So that is Margaret Hutton. Oops. Okay. And I told you, two fully finished. You haven't seen this little guy for a while. The Reverend Gourdon Squashbottom, all done. I finished him as a flat fold using Vanna Pfeiffer's tutorial, the Twisted Stitcher. I will put that link in, not the link, I'll link to her. And she so generously shares her process on how she does this. I love this fabric. I found this is a Joe Morton fabric, and I have enough to do his wife, Prunella. I'll show her in just a second, so that when I finish they can match. But I also have one that says slightly different print, and so they could just be coordinating rather than matched. Now you'll notice I did not put the cording on it. I was debating about that. I can do the cording at any time. You know, I could do it today, I could do it next year, whatever. But I was thinking about it, and the cording kind of makes a nice fancy finish, and he's kind of prim, so I'm thinking about that. If you have an opinion, let me know, but I'm thinking I'm happy to have him like this. So, Reverend Gourdon Squashbottom and his wife was waiting patiently in the bag. I have fabric, but I've not pulled the threads yet. I will use the same fabric, and there she is, Prunella Squashbottom. And she's the wife. And I believe I will finish her as a flat fold also. And they will stand together. Okay, so I am going to, let's see. Oh no, one more thing I want to show you. I have a finished object. So before I clear all this away, and I am going to clear all this away, but let me show you Mary Amelia's bird. And all the things that go with that. Hang on. Okay, here's the pattern. Mary Amelia's bird from Quaint Rose Needlearts. And you've seen this. So many stitchers have done this. Kim, Contented Needleworker Kim, has just a gorgeous finish. And it looks to me like she has it finished in this actual, I don't know if it's a clock frame or what. So I finished stitching Mary Amelia's bird. It's done. Let me see. Let me do this. Okay. There. Mary Amelia's bird. And you can see that I did ink staining around the edges of my paper. Wasn't exactly sure where I wanted it to go. And I may come in, now that's done, I may come in a little closer here and get some dark around the edges. And I have found, this is an 8-inch diameter, Amazon. I was having trouble finding the right diameter because if I had thought that the plate frame that Anne shared with me to check on size was a 10-inch. Well, when I asked for a 10-inch frame, it was giving me a 9.5-inch opening. And this paper is only 9 inches wide. So that would have been too wide. So this is an 8-inch diameter frame. And of course, I won't use the glass. And I always put, oops, just a minute, a layer of quilt batting behind my stitching, but this is paper. I don't know if I need the quilt batting. At the very least, I think I'm going to put fabric behind it, and I'm going to experiment with different colors of fabric. Does a brown give it a good look? Does a gold give it a good look? I'm going to see what color fabric I will have behind it, because I don't want it to be on white, I don't think. This is just the cardboard inside from the frame, because I'm not going to use the glass that came with it. So there's Mary Amelia's bird. Happy to have her done. And I got a second frame exactly like this, because my plan is to stitch Beloved from Running with Needles and Scissors. And I'll choose my fabric size so that it will fit in this 8-inch diameter frame. And I'm just going to do the birds. So I'll have a pair. I'll have Mary Amelia's bird and the birds from Beloved. So that's my finishes. I'm really excited to have those done. And let's see, now I am going, oh, I know, I wanted to refer you to, if you have not yet seen it, Susan Stanley's most recent video, her number 62. She has such a fascinating talk about color and how colors are related, colors coming from nature, and how all of the colors go to brown. They can all go to brown. That was fascinating. And I was thinking about that as I was thinking what color would I put behind this. So anyway, it's fascinating. And color is, for me, is a problem. I've never felt that I had a good sense of color. Even when, remember when it was a fad to have your colors done to see what season you are? I could never see the difference. They'd say, oh, you're a such and such, and here, put this color, now put this color. Doesn't that look better? I never saw a difference. I don't know. I didn't get it. So color isn't my thing, but Susan just really had a fascinating video, and I'm going to have that in mind as I'm looking for what color fabric do I want to put behind that perforated paper. Maybe it won't make a difference, and I'll find out, and I'll get that done. Let's see. Now, oh, here's another thing. I wanted to get this done because there's a category in State Fair for perforated paper. So I wanted this to be entered. But the problem is you must have the wire hanger on a frame. And Hobby Lobby won't do that for this. It's not wood. They won't do it. And even if I buy something off their shelf, you know, one of the standard ones, they won't put a wire on that either because it's not wood. I checked with my girls, so shoot. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do about that, but I can try it myself. They do sell the wire and so forth, but, you know, I don't know how to do that, so decisions ahead. So I'm going to pause a second and clear the decks, and then I'll be ready to show you the whips I've been working on. Okay, I'm back with my whips. These are the things I've worked on this 2 weeks. One that I worked on was my red sampler, Dorothy Bryant from Hands Across the Sea. You've seen this. I've done this a couple months now, and I'm getting very close to being done. I'm sure next month I will get it done. So here it is, Dorothy Bryant. You see, you can see on the pattern, there's not a lot yet. Let's see, below the school name, then there's the town, and then noblesse oblige. So I'm getting close. This is stitched on 40 count dirty teacup from Linen and Flax. And I'm using Soie 100.3 number 523 on this one. And you know I always have a red sampler on the go, and she is my current one. And she lives in this project folder that I made using Tiger Lily, Carrie's pattern, and I have other little red, all red samplers in here ready to go. So that's that one. The next one is I worked on the Martha Miller Sal. This is a Sal in conjunction with Queen City Sampler Guild. Sylvia Steckler is the designer, running with needles and scissors, and she's a member of our guild. And so this is month 6. Yes, this was month 6. And then there are 3 more months. We should be done. I will be done in September. July, August, September. So, and I've kept up. I'm so thrilled that I've been able to keep up. Colors are beautiful. I'm stitching this on 40 count Milk and Honey from Fiber on a Whim. And I'm using Sylvia's DMC conversion that's in the pattern. It's beautiful. The colors are beautiful. Now, here's one thing I've done, and I'm happy for opinions. Where's the swan? Okay, there are 2 swans. This is as it's stitched, and this is with a back stitch. Back stitch, yes or no? And the color I used, I selected the lightest color in the palette that's in the pattern, and it's a very light blue. And if you think back stitch, yes, but you don't think the blue, would you go to a very, very light gray, like DMC, I think 03 is a very light gray. I've done that before on things. So what do you think? Back stitch, yes or no? So that's Martha Miller. And she's living in a project bag I made out of Blackbird fabric. Okay, When Flowers Blossom with Thy Needle and Thread. Where's the pictures in here? Oh, okay, funny story about the cover here. In the last video, I showed this, and when I was cleaning up afterwards, I could not find the cover picture. So I rewatched my video. So what did I do with it? I put it down here, then I picked my things up, moved them over to my ironing surface. That's where everything was when I finished. But it was gone, and it was several days that it was gone. And I looked all over, but when I got down, right down on my belly and looked under that table, it had gone way back to the wall. So I got it back, but anyway. And that was quite a picture, me on my belly, and then getting up. That was, yeah, that's a sight to be seen. Okay, so this is When Flowers Blossom with Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. It's a pattern that's been around for a while. And I've painted a tray that I'm going to use to do the finishing in. I've shown that before. I I'm kind of saving the fill in on the house for a Zoom call. I've been working on getting the flowers up. There's another big flower up here. There's another house up here. What else is there? Oh, and then the cartouche, I guess we call it, with the saying in it. So, and she is stitched on 40 count brown sugar from Fiber on a Whim. And I'm using a combination of threads. Some are the Needlearts Shaker, some are Classic Colorworks, some are Weeks, some are DMC. And if you're really interested in what I'm using, let me know and I'll tell you. And in some of those substitutions, I don't remember anymore if it was because I didn't have the Weeks or the whatever, or was it called for in the pattern? I don't remember. So, but I'll find out. If you want to know, I'll find out. Okay, another one you haven't seen for a while is Mrs. Campbell. She was my birthday start. I started her in February as my birthday start, and this is a Hands Across the Sea. I love the flowers on this. They just glow. They just are gorgeous. I'm stitching this on 46 count because, no, this wasn't the one that was because it was so big. No. But I wanted 46 count. I like it. And this fabric is One More Reproduction by BeStitchMe. So previously I had all of these dividing lines done. And I had done the vine and flowers, these three. And I had done the alphabet like through the N. So I came back, added some more of the vines, in one flower, and finished the alphabet line. And then the next line down is going to be Algerian eyelet for the alphabet. And that is Mrs. Campbell, Oban, and I think that's a place in Scotland, as I recall. And she's living in my birthday bag. This is a Berry Stitch Folk bag. The Happy Birthday Girl. And I had a new start. I had said last time I hoped I would have a new start and had a question mark, and I did indeed. This start is, and I'll show you this bag because this is the bag that was in question. Disturbed Women from Lucy Beam, Rebecca Noland. And one of my friends in Central Kentucky Stitchers finished this and brought it to our meeting to show, and it's just fantastic. She did it as a birthday present for her sister. Isn't that fun? So here's my start, and I'm using the called for fabric Witch's Brew from Lap and Loops, and I did a top right start. Just, I don't know, it seemed like a good way to go with me because I like to stitch in hand, and if I'm stitching in hand, I like to go right to left. So we'll see. Anyway, I love this fabric. It is wild, and there are only two colors in this. I'm using the DMC number 934. It calls for Weeks, I think it was Weeks Cucumber. No, Needlearts Cucumber, which is a dark green. And then Purple Haze is the other color. So the center decoration that goes down here is in purple. So it's the purple and green. And how appropriate on this fabric. It's so much fun. Okay, now let me show you the bag. Pull my stuff out. And it's not a problem that it came on. But you can kind of see on the back. Can you see where it's wrinkled? It's because it came undone. And I'm not taking an iron to it because there's vinyl on the front. So no. And there you can see it has come undone there. I don't think I even put on the little one because as I had it turned this way, the dent didn't show on the back. So I didn't even realize there was a dent there. So at this point, I'm just going to leave it alone. It's not bad. Okay, so those were my whips, and I have just a little bit of haul. Just a little bit. And this one, you'll know, my thread club from Fat Quarter Shop. This one is the Classic Colorworks. And in a little bit, I'll show you my reorganized closet, and I'll show you how these go into my system. And then I have a kit. Queen City Sampler Guild has an online class with Sissy Bailey Smith, and we pre-ordered the kit, and my kit came, and it says don't do any pre-stitching, but you can look at it and get yourself familiar with the orientation of the pattern. And then we're going to be doing a housewife, and it's going to be finished with a nun stitch. She said something about nun stitch is what we're going to use. So anyway, so that's going to be in a couple weeks. Week from tomorrow is the online Zoom for that class. So I have my kit, and that's it for my haul. That is absolutely it for my haul. Okay. Now, plans. Okay, where's my book of days? Right here. So for this month, okay, always on this side of my book of days, I put my plans for the month, and I always have my focus piece, of course, my 7 days on my oldest whip, and I have a red sampler always. And let's see, and I currently have this Martha Miller Sal, that's there always. And then there were things I thought I wanted to get done. I wanted to finish stitching Amelia's bird, done, check. Okay, Jessie Challenor, I've not touched yet. And the specialty stitches, I have not touched yet. So I have some time left in this month, and I will do those. And then I also had a goal of finishing casting a spell. Check, that is done. So I only have 2 more goals for this month. Okay, here's another thing I'm thinking about with my rotation and my monthly goals. Curious Crafters, I hope you all watch Curious Crafters. Carolyn mentioned in her last video about having a monthly BAP, that she would have her BAPs in rotation and have a time to touch them each month. Then she mentioned it again in their most current video, and I'm thinking I need to do that. I have 2 big projects that are on scroll bars, and I don't touch them. I don't get them. They're not in my normal rotation. I think I need to set aside some specific days to touch a BAP, and I can go back and forth between those 2. I could add more to it if I want. I could put Florence Mary Dickinson in the list, and any of the other samplers I have. But the 2 that I have are Catherine Adriana Lunason. She is big. And Susanna Lawton. She is also big. And those are my 2 projects that I have on scroll rods. So I'm thinking I need to work a monthly time to work on a BAP. You know what BAP means. Being nice it would be big, awesome project, but there's another term too. So those are my plans. And what I'm going to do now is show you, I'm going to stop and clear the decks, and I'm going to show you patriotic things that I have that I haven't stitched yet. And why the heck haven't I stitched them? Anyway, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. First, I'm going to show you some that I have all kitted up, but I've not started stitching them yet. And they're not in a special order. The first one is Plum Street, a new constellation. You've seen this. I mean, this has been around like forever. Gorgeous. I have my fabric selected. It is 36 count Legacy. 36 count, and I think that's exactly what she calls for. Yeah, she calls for Oban, but 36 count Legacy. And I have my DMCs all in here, ready to go. Haven't started it. Now, this is stitch heavy. There is some solid stitching in here, and there's over 1, but it's gorgeous, and I want to have it done, and I haven't done it yet. So that's number 1, kitted up. Number 2 kitted up is the Equality Sampler. This is part of the series that she did. The Equality Sampler, again, stitch heavy with 1 over 1. I have all my DMCs in it, ready to go. And I have my fabric chosen. This is 36 count grog. It was from BeStitchMe Club. This one was 2021 Stitch Me. She still has grog, I think, in her regular rotation, so grog is available. But again, heavy stitching and 1/1. But gorgeous nonetheless. I want these done. I want them on my wall. The third one I have, kitted up, Plum Street Samplers, Heritage Sampler. Again, you can see it has that same style, the big flower border, and then the center motifs, lots of full solid stitching and 1/1 on the words. Anyway, I want it done. I want all three of those done. To be gorgeous hanging together. Okay, another that I have kitted up, ready to go in a patriotic bag. Brenda Gervais, Red, White, and Bloom. I haven't started any of these yet. I have painted the Navy Stars. I've painted the USA. I did that when I was doing all the painting of my finishing pieces. I haven't started any of these yet. And she calls for Winter Brew, and I have 36 count Winter Brew. So I have even the called for linen. And I have the threads in here. Oh, I see weeks. Wow, I really went all out and got just what was called for. So, but I also have some DMC. Ready to go. Why not? Why have I not done that yet? There are 4 pillows, 5 pillows. Yeah, one's kind of a little one. So that would be great in my dough bowl with the star and the USA that I already have ready. Okay, another one. Kitted, ready to go, is a Plant of Rapid Growth, Heartstring Samplery. Have the DMCs. I have the fabric, what did she call for? 32 count Heartlands. And I ordered from Colorado Cross Stitcher 32 count Platinum. Let me see how that looks. And I think that'll work just fine. So again, why haven't I stitched this? 4th of July, Memorial Day come every year. I don't know, I think I have to break out of my sampler habit. And then I have some that are just patterns, not kitted up. One is My Country, La-Di-Da. I love that skinny little pillow. A lot of stitching in it though. Again, look at that flag. That's a lot of solid stitching. But so fun. Why haven't I started it? I don't know. And then I kind of have my George Washington cluster of things. George Decorates for Martha. I think I've mentioned to you before, I kind of have an affinity for George Washington because I share his birthday. And because I was interested, as I was growing up, I was reading all I could about George Washington. And that got me into American history and ultimately my social studies content area for teaching. So there's George Decorates for Martha. A Mount Vernon Christmas. Again, Plum Street, right? Plum Street? Yeah, Plum Street. George and Martha, Plum Street. Right, Plum Street, yeah. She has done quite a few. And then I have the 2 horses, Blueskin and Nelson, both of them. I want them both, and I haven't done either one. And Katie Strachan did that wonderful conversion on Blueskin. It's just gorgeous. I haven't even kitted them yet. Excuse me. This one is Prize Your Liberty. I saw this on Oh, I could have said it until I started to say it. She lives in Washington, Oregon, building a house. Oh, come on, you know what I mean. Anyway, I saw her finish of this, and I ordered this right away. This is from, where did I order it? It was online. It was a PDF that I printed. It's by Merrily A. Beams. What company do you get it from? Okay, I don't see a company, but I got it online as a PDF and printed it. So, Lisa Smith. What's her title? Her Flosstube. Of all the things I've lost, I miss my mind the most. Okay, Twin Peaks. One Nation Under God. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Another one. Haven't even attempted to kit it yet. What's she call for? Ada, 16 count oatmeal rustico. Well, I would probably, well, I would do a linen. I think I would do a linen. Unless I absolutely already had the Ada, I might do that. That fabric is beautifully modeled. Any Ada I have isn't modeled. So this was a freebie from Sassy Jack's Kim. Thank you so much, Kim. And I haven't started it yet. I got it right away. She offered it free. Rosa Parks. And I haven't started it yet. And this one I got at StitchCon in 2023 from Rebel Stitcher. I love this. Women of Honor sampler. And Colleen was so sweet. I mentioned I wanted to add a name. She said, go, put something in, take something out, put in names that mean something to you. So, and I haven't done it yet. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful. And Primitive Hair. Anne Frank. I haven't done this yet. I did the Harriet Tubman, and it's exactly the same style. They would look so wonderful next to each other, but I have not done this one yet. Harriet Tubman is done, and I haven't even started this one yet. So that's the end of the section of the video of why the heck haven't I stitched these yet. But bonus for you, because when I went through these, I discovered there was one I loved so much that I bought it twice. La-di-da, my country. If you would like the opportunity to receive this pattern, please put the word country in your comment. And I will, at the next video, I will do, right before the next video, I will do the random comment picker. And I'll mail it anywhere. This isn't going to be expensive, so I'll mail it anywhere. Use the word country. Brand new pattern, never opened, never used. So, okay, now I'm going to pause, and I'm going to give you a tour of my reorganized storage closet. And then we'll come back and I will show you this quilt. This is a quilt my grandmother made, and we'll do a close-up look of that and talk about that. So hang on, I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the door to one of my storage closets. This is the one that I keep my cross-stitch stuff in. Plus there's some quilting stuff, but the other closet is totally quilting stuff. So, and you'll recognize this piece that I stitched, When the Queen is Happy, There's Peace in the Kingdom. And then also on the handle, I have this little bag. I'm not sure if it came from Sewing Club or if it came from Ooh La La or what, but it's a blackbird pattern, and I keep dried lavender in it. And I turned the light on. Here we go. Now, believe it or not, this is organized. It was even worse than this. So this is under the stairs that come down from the upstairs. So Okay, there it comes down. And it's not beautifully finished, but it's painted. Okay, on the top shelf, now this shelving unit was full of batting, and that's all it had. Batting has moved to underneath the long arm in tubs, and I've never stored anything under the long arm before, but it was time. I needed this space for other stuff. So the top shelf is all my DMC, and I showed you how I went through and put an index card in the baggie, and have one for every single DMC. This pencil, I have discovered, has to live here. If I walk away with this pencil and then I come in and take a DMC out and this is the last one, I have to write the name of the pattern it's going in. If I have to walk away and look for the pencil, it won't get done because I forget what I'm doing and get doing something else. So this pencil lives here. That keeps my DMC taken care of. So I've done these 3 tubs. This tub used to hold all of these together. I have different plans for this. So now I have 3 tubs. One for Classic Colorworks, Weeks Dye Works, and Gentle Art. What's that? Fuzzy batting hanging on it. Okay, and so here are the Classic Colorworks that I showed you that I got in my club. So what I will do, now that's hard to do one-handed here because I don't think I can even take the cover off with one hand. No. Okay. So the dividers, I've just, instead of doing those hang-down dangly tags that I did using Vanna Pfeiffer's method, I've just used blue painter's tape and put the letter on it. I find it easier to read if it's up higher anyway. The ones that I deconstructed out of the original box, if they had a hang tag on, I left it on, but if it didn't, I made a new one and just did this. Okay, so these new ones are all the letter P. And you can see that's pretty full, so I'm going to have to do a second hanging strip for these, and I'll get these put in. And I can't show you with one hand how I do it because I have to open a ring and put the new ring on and so forth. So that'll get done. Now, where am I going to put these so I don't lose them? I'll put them up here. Okay. And then down here, I have the extra rings that I need, and rings for, that I hang floss on for project bags. So my plans for this box are, I want to reorganize my patterns because I currently have patterns, categories. Well, the big ones, of course, Blackbird Designs is its own section in a drawer. Hands Across the Sea is its own section. And then the rest are in folders like it'll say samplers or spring or summer or Christmas or Halloween. I just find that very hard. And I think those of you who organize by designer, I think that's a better idea. I'm going to copy that. So that's my plan. I have, I'll show you the file drawer I have currently, but they're going to go in this. So this will be my patterns. Okay, down here, I can't even see what I'm showing you. Okay, down here I have these fabric tote baskets, just like the one I have in the family room where I keep my current whips in. These are all kitted up samplers. Shameful that I haven't done those. And then these are all kitted up non-samplers. Different things. Can you see this? I don't even know if this is valuable for you at all. So that's the back wall. And I do have a few, these plastic folders that are available for projects. Okay, now let me move up here and try not to touch the button. Okay, now this is the other wall, and this is another set of shelves. I have other threads in this. I don't have a lot of silks, so I have silks in these 2 little drawers, and I have plenty of room for more, and flower thread here. This is the white fluffy towel that I use to iron my finished work. I always put it face down on the fluffy white towel. This towel has never been used for anything else, untouched by kids' hands. I have an empty drawer here. This is all of my thread bobbins ordered from Amazon, tons and tons of thread bobbins. And then this is the drawer that has my comic book board and the little hang tags for the week's dye works. This is my tub of ribbons. These are some of my finishing things waiting. This is the one that's waiting for When Flowers Blossom. These are a couple lights I have. This is a frame I had with quilting, but for a big sampler, it could work. This was a Georgia bone steel. Okay, the second shelf down. Oops, these are the tubs that I have my fabric in. This is very full because it has 40 count in it, and that's my go-to. But I want to add 46, and I only have a few in there, but I would like another tub. And then on down, 36, etc. And at the back of each section, I think I showed you when I redid these that I have the small leftover pieces at the very back of the count section. So at the back of the 36 section, I have a bag that has all my scraps, so for ornaments or smalls or whatever. And this one, doesn't want to come out. This one has Ada. I don't have a lot in Ada, and I have my perforated paper at the back in that one. But again, I'd like one more tub here so I can expand. Okay, I have Q-snaps. These are odds and ends of cross-stitch stuff. My Krynic tool that I use to make cording and a few odds and ends things, markers, etc. Those are odd things. I don't know where to go with those things. And then the shelves below have seasonal finishes. And because I've reorganized, actually I have some space there, so it doesn't really make a lot of sense here, but I know where they are. Christmas and winter and Valentine's. And then these scrapbook containers are fabrics for specific purposes. Like I have Kaffe Fassett. This is mostly sampler themed fabric, blackbird fabric for project bags, etc. My lizard litter, my mat board for finishing projects. This 2-drawer file cabinet has top shelf, or top drawer is blackbird designs in the front and by categories. And even if I have completed it, I have a place to put the completed ones because I'm keeping those forever and ever. Then back here I have Hands Across the Sea. Sorry. And most of my Hands Across the Sea are kitted, frankly, but and the completed ones too I keep here. They're not going anywhere. Okay, this up here, this is the box that my lap frame came in, and these are from my Fat Quarter Shop sewing sampler. They're just good boxes. I'm going to keep them. I don't know, have a plan for them yet, but I'm going to keep them. Okay, currently the bottom drawer, I can't do it one-handed because I'm going to pull it over. Those are my patterns. And as I say, I don't think it's a very useful system. For me, it isn't. Like, I have other finishes. So that has biscornus and pears and strawberries, things like that. But I would rather have them by the designer. I just think I'll be happier with that. And then I have several folders at the back that just say completed, 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 completed. So if they weren't Blackbird or Hands Across the Sea, they're down here in the completed. I don't know. That's an ongoing struggle I have. I've finished with them. I keep them. I don't know if that's a good thing to do or not. And then there I have some quilt things that are in various stages of being ready to be quilted or waiting for me to be inspired to finish or something. So that's my reorganized closet. Now we'll go back and take a look at the quilt that my grandmother made. Okay, this quilt was gifted to me by my grandmother as a wedding gift when my husband and I got married. So I can tell you it's 55 years old. I asked her what the name of the pattern is. She said it was called Mrs. Cleveland's Choice. And I asked her if the Mrs. Cleveland was the president's wife, and she did not know. So it's traditional. And after I put it up, I was almost going to just take it down. It is in such rough condition and stained. I didn't remember it was so stained. This was our bed cover for years. We used this on our bed all the time, and my grandmother was so happy to see that we were using it. But now, looking back at it 55 years later, I think, oh, I wish I had kept it pristine. But I know it made her happy. So it was used, climbed on by kids and dogs and cats, and washed in the washing machine multiple times. This is never going to see a washing machine again. I might do a bathtub dunk. It really does need to be cleaned. So let me find one that will show up nicely. Maybe this one. So lots of little pieces in this. Tons of little pieces. And the fabric is really, really worn. Like really, really worn. And okay, this print, I know that print. I had some kind of clothing made of that print when I was a child. I remember those little Indian with the feathers on the head. I don't remember if it was a dress or jumper. I don't know what it was, but I had something in that fabric. And that, I think, is the only fabric I really recognize in this. But again, it's sad, so worn. But as I say, she was happy that we used it. So there's another one. Oh gosh. Anyway, so Mrs. Cleveland's Choice. This is hanging sideways because it is a it's supposed to be 6 blocks long and 5 wide, but for me to hang it and not have it drag on the floor, I turned it sideways. So, oh, here's this. No, this block isn't too bad. I don't see any bare spots in that, and that really shows up nicely with the contrast. And again, she sent this out and had it machine quilted. And I always wonder, at that time, before computers, how did they do that? Maybe they had boards, or I don't know how they did that. Anyway, I know how pantographs work now, but I don't know how they did it before computers. So. Anyway, okay. Mrs. Cleveland's Choice, wedding gift from my grandmother. So, okay, now I'm trying not to touch this as I turn it. Okay, that's the end of my video for today. I will be back again on July 4. And I hope to have started at least one patriotic project, but I still have 2 goals from this month to get completed first, and then I'm going to jump into one of those patriotic. And remember, if you would like an opportunity to win the La-Di-Da pattern, put the word country in your comment. Thanks so much. I appreciate you being here. Please like and subscribe. It really helps my channel. It puts my video out to more people's feeds and helps grow the channel. Thanks so much. See you in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye.